Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Thanks for dropping by. I just prayed this morning and I felt inspired to do this prayer, and then I felt inspired to think about it in terms of what Bruno Groening taught us. And so I'd like to share that with you. So, our Father. Bruno was quite clear that God is our parent. It's a radical shift. You know, we hear it so often, God the Father or our Father. My understanding is Jesus, and Bruno emphasized this so strongly as well. It's a complete shift of our mind to think of God as our parent. The Aramaic word Jesus used was Abba, which means daddy. Daddy. Just thinking about that makes me so happy. So, Daddy, who art in heaven. Well, that's okay as long as we remember that God is everywhere and in everything. Inside of us, closer than close. All we need to do is reach out our finger and God is there. Take a breath and God is there. So Daddy, Source, our parent, who is everywhere, who is inside of us. Hallowed be thy name. Bruno Groening never spoke about the name of God. In Christianity and Christian mysticism, the name of God gets a lot of weight. So what I understand that to mean, in terms of what Bruno shared, is that God is holy beyond holy, the most important thing. Can you think about that? Someone who just their name is holy. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Bruno Groening taught that the kingdom of God, heaven on earth, is inevitable. It will happen. Paradise will be restored. That's the thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Bruno Groening was adamant that God is in charge. He said only things that serve as a lesson are allowed to happen. That means God runs everything, even the things we don't like. God doesn't like them either, but allows them to happen for our good. Bruno taught that whenever a hardship occurred, God allowed it or permitted it for our learning. Doesn't mean that God likes it. On earth as it is in heaven. Again, that heaven, paradise, will be restored to this earth where everyone listens to God and follows God and lives in harmony, peace, and love. Give us this day our daily bread. I would add to that, give us this day our daily bread, meaning what we need. What we need is actually much less than what we want. But please, give us what we need. And that includes the Heilstrom, the divine energy. And that includes the feeling of connection to God and being guided by God. We need those things. And forgive us our trespasses. Bruno once said, I am not one who says that human beings are without guilt. Bruno was adamant that if something bad happens to us, that we've brought it on ourselves. And he also was very strongly advised people to ask God for forgiveness, for mercy, for grace. As we forgive those who trespass against us. Bruno spoke about the path of love in which forgiving and forgetting happens. So much of human misery comes from resentment, from anger towards things people have done in the past. So we're asked God for forgiveness, but then we also need to be forgiving of others. This has come so much easier to me through Bruno Groening's teaching that if anyone does something bad, it's not them. It's the evil acting through them. They've literally been seized. They're still responsible for having let the evil in. But we can think of them as being spiritually sick. They've taken on some evil. Their spirit is still pure, but their body has taken on this evil, and hence they're being dragged around and forced to do nasty things. Lead us not into temptation. My understanding is that that's not what Christ said. In fact, in the book of James, who James is purportedly Jesus' brother, it even says that God never tempts. So my understanding of that is more, help us to overcome all temptation. Bruno Groening himself said that he had been tempted, vast temptation. We all face that. We all have to face evil and overcome it. So my understanding of that is, please help us to overcome the temptation of evil. But deliver us from evil. Bruno Groening said, the good will prevail. So my understanding on this planet as well, so that evil will be overcome. And this is asking for that help. And that's really all that Bruno taught, was how to be freed from evil by the divine power and through Bruno's help and Christ's help and God's help. Thine is the kingdom. To me, that means God's in charge. God's the ruler. Thine is the power. Bruno Groening said, I am nothing, God is everything. Without God, we have no power. This is a hard one for human beings to learn, because there's lots of things we can do. But ultimately, we can do nothing without God. We can do nothing that matters. Nothing that really matters. On the spiritual level, we can't be freed from evil. We can't be saved from all evil without the power of God. We can't even take a breath without the power of God. And the glory forever. God is the source of everything. No God, no us, no nothing. So, as I begin to really become aware of that, it becomes natural to praise and be grateful and love and really glorify. To glorify God. Hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much, beautifuls. Take care. Much love.